Hello, everyone, and welcome back. As always, I am your girl, Candy Washington, and I'm telling you, these Beverly Hills streets are hot. They are hot. The block is hot. We are going to break down some of the latest and my conspiracy theory. Listen, if this is your first time watching my channel, you will quickly realize that I always have conspiracy theories when it comes to pop culture, reality TV, Bravo, X, Y, and Z. And a lot of my conspiracy theories are proven to be true. Again, everything is alleged, rumor. But a lot of my conspiracy theories are proven to be true. So I'm going to dive into proving one of my conspiracy theories regarding the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, particularly Erika versus Dorit, in this episode. But before we dive in, be sure to like this video, my beautiful candy canes, subscribe to my channel, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live, and share this with a friend because a key is always better with community, and it's good just to talk about the conspiracy theories. Check out below the description box for goodies. We have merchandise. You can shop the Love collection and everything else. So with that, let's dive right on in. All right, you guys. So remember my conspiracy theory when we were doing the recap of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Aspen episodes. Remember when I said that when Erika looked at Dorit, so this was during Erika's meltdown when she was like, I don't give a damn about anybody but myself. You should only care about me. So remember when she had that meltdown and Dorit was like, Erika, girl, chill out, girl. And Erika was just on one, and she looks at Dorit and she goes, well, I'd hate it for you to find yourself in my position. And I said that was a veiled threat to her, basically being like, if you don't get out of my face, I'm going to start spilling all the secrets I know about you and PK and all of your alleged frauds and bankruptcies and con this, that, and the third, right? If you missed it, go back and watch the Aspen episodes recaps. I said it like 20 times. And that's when we saw Dorit. What did she do? That is when Dorit fell in line with Erika. She was packing up Erika's room in Kyle's house like she was the maid. She was packing up the stuff. Erika was walking around like, what? You know, she spent the night with Erika and Diana at the hotel. The next day, she was basically like, Kyle, who? I don't know you, Kyle. I'm riding with Erika. See you when I see you. They were beefing over it. Kyle and Dorit were beefing because Dorit clearly took Erika's side. It was a whole hot mess. Basically what Erika said was, I know where the bodies are buried. I know where the skeletons are. You better pipe down and blindly be loyal to me, or you're going to find yourself in the same situation. Okay. Fast forward to now. It's, being said, it's being alleged that behind the scenes, Erika is now saying to the producers, hey, listen, I'm tired of you guys milking my legal problems with Tom Girardi. Again, the delusion of it all, the entitlement of it all. I want you guys to start looking into maybe some other people's storylines. Maybe some other people have some legal situations going on. Maybe some other people have some fraud going on. Why don't you go look into them and see what you can come up with, right? And now all of a sudden, people are now talking about how Dorit and Diana Jenkins may have a secret past. Now, I have some receipts, and I have my own opinion on this. I have my own, opinion, because again, everything's alleged, everything is rumored. This is just my opinion on this stuff. I actually have my own opinion on it. I'm not sure that Erika, sort of betraying Dorit behind the scenes is going to end the way she thinks it's going to end. But we'll go through all the receipts, and then I want to know what you guys think about it. So again, Erika is going to production being like, you need to expose other people, not just me. Now everyone's talking about, the alleged secret past between Dorit, PK, and Diana Jenkins and her ex-husband, right? So let's dive into receipt number 1, and I'm going to cite my sources. So this is Reality Blurb. Oops, sorry guys. This is Reality Blurb, And according to Reality Blurb, it says Dorit Kimsley's husband, Paul PK Kimsley, is attempting to block her from testifying in his $1.2 million legal battle with Nikos Chrysis, who loaned him money in 2011 and claims he never paid it back. According to a new report, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills star is scheduled to expose her finances in the court, but her husband has filed documents hoping to prevent any such thing from happening. Even more, PK, who filed for bankruptcy in the United Kingdom 5 months after receiving his $1.2 million loan from Nikos, is now claiming he shouldn't have to pay back the loan to his former friend. He says his debt, including the loan, was erased after he filed for bankruptcy back in March 2012. So basically what this scam is he borrowed $1.2 million from his, at the time, friend Nikos. Then he strategically filed for bankruptcy about 5 months later after maybe laundering the money, spending the money, you know what I mean, hiding the money. He didn't necessarily spend $1.2 million in the 5 months. I mean, he could have, but he also could have kind of, washed the money in a way where he could kind of hide it in an offshore account, then claim bankruptcy, and then not have to pay it back. That could have been the scam. Allegedly, rumor has it. Okay. Next receipt. So during his bankruptcy filing, PK listed his personal debts ranging from $10 million to $50 million. A report from the 2013 revealed that amount to be in $40 million ballpark, describing PK as a high-living property tycoon and a notoriously heavy gambler who owed millions in gambling debt. So maybe he did spend it on the gambling debt. Hey, you never know. PK, who was reportedly very successful in real estate, saw his empire collapse in 2009 due to the recession and housing crisis. PK debtors included Spedrex, HMRC, HBOS, and Joe Louis. However, despite his bankruptcy, now this is where we need to pay attention, okay? Because allegedly, everyone now is saying, oh, PK owes all this money to BARCLAYS, and Erika Jenkins' ex-husband used to be the president, the chief executive officer of BARCLAYS. That is how they have this secret past, right? So PK owes all of this money to BARCLAYS Bank, and coincidentally, it happens to be that Erika Jenkins' ex-husband was also the president, the chief executive officer, the CEO, the big guy, one of the big kahunas, the big chairman at BARCLAYS, right? So that's what everybody's saying. Keep that in mind, because over here with the Candy Cane community, we put in our critical thinking hats, and I'm going to expose some things that we're going to have to really think about and dive into. But remember, that is the crux of what Erika is trying to expose against Dorit, because Erika is tired, allegedly, because Erika is tired of, everybody riding the coattails of her Tom and Girardi case. She's ready to mention it all against all of her so-called friends. Allegedly. So listen to this part. However, despite his bankruptcy, BARCLAYS Bank took legal action against PK in 2012. In the United States, over a $5 million loan they made to him, the bank accused PK of hiding his assets in the U.S. Initially, the United States Bankruptcy Court supported BARCLAYS' claim, as Judge James Peck called PK a bankrupt who does not live like one with ready access to abundant free cash. The judge cited the fact that PK was living in a luxurious lifestyle in the U.S., which included renting a palatial New York apartment that cost $15,000 a week, and properties in Beverly Hills, Boca Raton, and Hollywood. But 2 months later, the state court denied BARCLAYS' claims against PK, citing that the bank effectively mouse-trapped themselves. So basically, this is what happened. Basically, they're saying, yes, PK is out there living the life, doing the damn thing. He has a New York apartment that costs $50K a week. He has properties in Beverly Hills and Boca Raton and Hollywood, X, Y, and Z. He's out there doing the damn thing. However, given the fact that he still filed for bankruptcy, and the fact that, whatever clause was in the money that BARCLAYS loaned to him, PK is now protected and covered. because he filed for bankruptcy and because of that clause. So they mousetrapped themselves. So they're saying, yeah, PK is a fraudster, but unfortunately, the people at Barclays sort of, put themselves in this corner, right? They put themselves in the corner. They lent him the money. The money's protected under bankruptcy. Their hands are tied, right? So, being the critical thinker candy canes that we are, we're going to put on our candy cane critical thinking hats because I got questions, right? I got some questions. Number one, since now people are reporting that, the secret past between Dorit and Diana is because PK, got $5 million XYZ from Barclays Bank. He subsequently filed for bankruptcy. Barclays tried to sue him to get the money back, but then the courts were like, we know he's a fraud, basically, but our hands are tied legally. Okay. I had a couple of questions. One, in 2012, because that's when this whole legal action is happening, was it Diana's Jenkins ex-husband, the actual president or whatever you want to call it, at Barclays at this time, right? Because if for them to have this secret past, dates have to line up. So he like the ex-husband couldn't have been the president in 2000, and then 12 years later in 2012 PK is now having this trouble, but he's no longer actually working at Barclays. He's no longer the president at Barclays. Like I need to know dates, and they need to match up, right? So that was my number one question. And trust me, everybody watching, you're going to want to watch to the end because I have some bombshells. I have some aha moments. I have some stuff going on. So trust me, you're going to want to watch to the end because this may not be what it actually seems. This may not be what it actually seems. Okay. So those were my questions, right? Those were my questions. Because again, what if the ex-husband used to work at Barclays, or he worked at Barclays, years after this? So it's Barclays 2012. Who is the president of Barclays? So that brings us to this receipt. This is according to Wikipedia. Barclays subsequently announced that Anthony Jenkins, remember, Diana Jenkins, is the existing chief executive of global retail and business banking, would become the group chief executive on August 30th, 2012. So it's confirmed that Anthony Jenkins is the Barclays UK division group executive officer in 2012. And then he's already the existing chief executive of global retail and business banking. So that means, if this is all happening in 2012, that he has been at Barclays in a position of high power, and he's actually even been promoted in 2012. Remember, this is Anthony Jenkins, right? Anthony Jenkins, and Diana's last name is Diana Jenkins, right? So I want you guys to remember all of this information, okay? Now, next receipt. So this is from Reddit, because I want to cite my sources. So this is from Reddit. Remember, Anthony Jenkins is the president, chief executive, whatever. He's one of the head honchos in Barclays. 2012. 2012 is when PK and Dorit are being sued by Barclays because they have defaulted on their $5 million loan. They strategically, basically, they conned that guy Nikos out of 1.5 million. They conned Barclays out of 5 million. Basically, what they were doing, this was their basic scheme. Then we'll get into this. Their basic scheme was, let's borrow all of this money, millions and millions of dollars, from banks, from friends, from people, from investors, and then we will conveniently file for bankruptcy, which wipes out the debt. Allegedly, that's their con. That's their scheme. Okay, now, according to Reddit, the first top we already know. Kimsey was a notorious heavy gambler, blah, 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 blah. His slate was wiped clean in England when he declared bankruptcy. Barclays took legal action after after suspicions were stoked by a judge's ruling at a court hearing in 2013. The bank's lawyers think Kimberly has significant secret assets in the United States. We think so too, allegedly. A claim that PK denies. Of course he's going to deny it. Court's paper revealed that lawyers for Kimberly fired off letters to Barclays executives, pleading with them to call off their hunt for the cash. Letters to Chief Executive Anthony Jenkins and Chairman Sir David Walker complained that proceedings by Barclays were a deliberate and calculated attempt to usurp the function of the jurisdiction of the UK bankruptcy codes. Blah, 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 pish posh. So basically what this is saying is that the person who is actually going against PK, the person who's actually trying to sue him and recoup the money, is Anthony Jenkins. So this is saying that Anthony Jenkins is actually not in cahoots with PK. He is actually trying to bring PK to justice and hold him accountable and get the money, right? He's trying to do that. He's trying to hold him accountable. He's trying to get the money, right? Because again, the whole scheme that basically PK and Dorit did was they borrowed millions of dollars from banks and from people and from investors, conveniently filed bankruptcy. Then they, laundered the money. They hid the money, offshore accounts, and then they're also allegedly hiding the money in the United States. It was a big money grab. It was a big fraud, essentially, allegedly. But I mean, he's being sued for fraud, so hey. But again, allegedly. Now let's go to the next receipt, you guys. Wait, before we get to the next receipt, I'm going to do a quick recap because I want my beautiful candy canes. We have on our candy cane critical thinking hats. Before we get, because the next receipt is a bombshell, okay? It's a bombshell. Are you ready for this? Remember, right? 2012, Anthony Jenkins is the chief executive of Barclays. He is the one who is going against PK, trying to get the money back. They're like, you know what? You scammed us. We're trying to get our money back, right? Anthony Jenkins. What is Diana's last name? Diana Jenkins, right? Okay. This is the bombshell. Anthony Jenkins is not Diana Jenkins' ex-husband. So the Anthony Jenkins that has been connected to PK and Barclays is not even related to Diana Jenkins or Roger Jenkins. They just so happen to have the same last name. This is according to Google. So Sanella Diana Jenkins' ex-spouse, Roger Jenkins. So Roger Allen Jenkins is a British financier and former international athlete. Now, this is the gag. Roger Jenkins also was an executive at Barclays. So that's the gag and that is the hook. That is what we're going to have to figure out, okay? That's what we're going to have to figure out. What does it all actually mean? So from 1994 to 2009, he worked for Barclays in a variety of roles, including chief officer of Barclays Capital's private equity group, and from 2008 from April 2008 as executive chairman of investment banking and investment management for the Middle East. In 2008, he played a key role raising capital for Barclays Group in June and October 2008, totaling over £9 billion from amongst others, the Qatar Investment Authority, blah, 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 blah. Okay? Estimates suggested that Jenkins earned about $40 million during the years from 2005 to 2009, so about $10 million a year, making him reputedly the highest paid banker in the city of London. Okay, you guys. Okay. Why is this important and what does it mean? All right, it's very important to note that Roger Jenkins is the actual ex-husband of Diana Jenkins, not Anthony Jenkins. So the person that is going after PK, the person that is involved in the bankruptcy situation, trying to get the money back, Anthony Jenkins just so happens. I mean, we actually have a coincidence, guys. We actually just so happens to share the last surname, the same last name. Anthony Jenkins is not related to Roger Jenkins. Anthony Jenkins has never been married to Diana Jenkins. So the gag is the Anthony Jenkins that is being tied to PK and all this has nothing to do with Diana Jenkins. However, with that being said, we need to figure out, did Roger Jenkins, who is the correct Jenkins, who did work at Barclays from 1994 to 2009. Now, we know that PK was being sued in 2012. However, my question is, when did PK receive the $5 million loan from Barclays, and who was on the Barclays team that approved the loan? So A, if PK received the loan between 1994 and 2009, and wait a minute, he left Barclays in the summer of 2009, and in 2012, okay, that's right. Okay, so if PK received the loan from Barclays between 1994 and 2009, and if Roger Jenkins was a part of the executive committee that approved the loan, or if he somehow on the back end was telling people that they should approve the loan, like, again, you know what I mean? Like, maybe his name wasn't officially on the paperwork or officially one of the executives, but if they can find proof that behind the scenes, Roger Jenkins was one of the executives that approved the loan, then that is our bombshell. Then that is our connection. Then that is our conspiracy. That is the tea. That is the drama. So we have to confirm when PK got the $5 million loan from Barclays, and if Roger Jenkins had anything to do with getting that loan approved. If so, then we have our connection between Dorit and PK's con, fraud, allegedly, even though they've been sued for it, and Diana Jenkins and her ex-husband, Roger Jenkins. But currently, with the receipts that we have, there's actually no secret past between Dorit and Diana. It just so happens that the president or the executive at Barclays who was suing PK has the last name of Jenkins. But if we can prove, again, PK got that $5 million loan between 1994 and 2009, in some way, somehow, Roger Jenkins was the one who helped him secure the loan, that is our conspiracy. That is our secret past. That is the bombshell. So we got to figure that out, guys. More will come out. So now, more on Roger Jenkins. This is from eFinancial Careers, because I'm citing my sources. This is from eFinancial Careers. It says, morning coffee. Ex-senior banker with links to top models and marijuana ends up in court, city's mitigating statement. Okay, so we all know the rumors against Diana Jenkins about child sex trafficking in general, her book Room 23, which basically set up, young women and young men, and it was the book, and like the rich men could go through it and sort of like pick the person they wanted to have sex with. They would pay Diana. Diana would supply them with the person to have sex with. She's also been accused of selling people into actual sex trafficking, like refugees or at-risk people. She would literally sell them to rich and wealthy men. So she kind of had allegedly, rumor has it, I am not saying this is a fact, this is just what's on Google. She had a couple of schemes going on. One, she would have the beautiful, C-lister, young people, like the Amanda at the time, like the alleged Amanda Bynes, Hayden Panettiere, Lindsay Lohan, Lisa Rinna all appeared in room 23. So that was one scheme where it was sort of these like, up and coming people that the men would get in the book. And then the second scheme was she was literally selling people into sex trafficking. Like she would sell refugees, people coming to London looking for solace, because she had the whole refugee connection. She would sell at risk people to these people for either like sex slavery or actual into like slavery, where there may be like, it even happens in America where you'll have people who may not be documented and people will take advantage. They won't pay them a wage. They won't pay them enough. They're basically working for free, which is a slave, all of this stuff. So she's also alleged to like literally be doing human trafficking as well. Again, this is all alleged. I'm not saying this is a fact. This is a rumor. It's alleged. I'm just giving you guys what's out there. So don't come and sue me, Diana. I'm not saying this is a fact, sweetheart. Okay, now according to Financial News, so this is about Roger Jenkins, her husband. Oh, also, or her ex-husband. Also, don't forget, there were also rumors that the way Diana met her husband was because Diana was herself an escort. And that's how she met her husband. So he was also involved in the selling people for sex and money, X, Y, and Z. So his hands were not clean. Okay, so according to this article, when people complain about the financial crisis, a popular refrain is that no bankers ended up in jail, except in Iceland. In the UK, this could change soon. John Verley, Roger Jenkins. Now, this is the correct Jenkins. This is this is Diana's ex-husband. This is the right Roger Jenkins. Tom Calaris and Richard Bolt, Barclays' former chief executive, head of Middle Eastern business, had a wealth management and head of corporate finance, respectively, yesterday arrived at a criminal court in London to face charges of fraud by false representation relating to Barclays raising $6.1 billion of capital from Qatari investors during the financial crisis. This is from January 2019, y'all. This is from January 2019. The four men are pleading not guilty. The Financial Times notes that Barley is the most senior banker ever to face a criminal court charge, at least since 2008. Boath, whatever his name is, Boath in particular has claimed to have repeatedly raised concerns about the decisions taken by the bank with both senior management and senior lawyers, and to have been reassured that those decisions were lawful. Calaris has been living in upstate New York since 2016, so basically he got the hell out of Dodge. Jenkins has been hanging out in Malibu, California. All right, you guys, this is huge. This is huge. Isn't this the same time that Diana Jenkins fled from London to California around the same time? Because Diana lives here in California. She has the home. She's been buying the homes, renting everything. Isn't it weird? Isn't it suspicious that her ex-husband Jenkins, who is now facing criminal fraud charges in the UK, conveniently comes to Malibu, California? Isn't it coincidental that now Diana Jenkins moved to California during that same time period? Because I don't think Diana was really hanging out like that, right? Okay, next. Of the four, Jenkins is the most colorful. Now age 62, he married a Brazilian model in September last year, having previously been associated with the likes of Miss Venezuela and supermodel Elle Macpherson. In 2016, Jenkins was said to be investing in a fund acquiring land in California to set up a marijuana business. At Barclays, Jenkins was for many years head of the controversial structured capital markets business, which devised structured products for clients that helped mitigate their tax exposure, aka he was participating in legal tax fraud. Okay, In 2009, The Guardian wrote an expose on the business, calling Jenkins, who allegedly earned 40 million euros, which would be $52 million a year for his effort, one of the best paid men in Britain. In 2005, Financial News says Jenkins earned 75 million, making him the best paid person. Well, 75 million euros, which is even more in US dollars. Well, maybe not at this point, but you know what I mean. Best paid person working for an FTSE 100 company. Jenkins left Barclays in 2009, and Barclays closed its structured capital marketing business in 2013 as part of a strategic review. So basically, in 2013, they're like, we got to close up shop. They're doing illegal activity. Now, this is very important. Although this was legal, they were basically doing legal tax fraud for their clients, tax evasion. They were doing legal tax evasion. They found the loopholes in order to have their clients not pay a lot in taxes. So they basically were legally doing tax evasion. So although it was legal, going forward, such activity is incompatible with our purpose. We will not engage in it again, said then CEO Anthony Jenkins, no relation at the time of the closure. Boom! So Anthony Jenkins is actually a good guy. Anthony Jenkins actually is the one who was like, listen, we're not going to participate in this legalized tax evasion anymore. Hey, listen, we're going to sue you, PK, because you basically did fraud against the bank. You got a $5 million loan, and then you just conveniently did bankruptcy, but yet you're over in the US living at large. You have, maybe they're rentals, but doesn't matter, thousands of dollars a week, penthouses in New York, homes in California, Bentleys, X, Y, and Z. You're fronting. You're hiding your money. You're hiding your assets. You're pretending like you don't have any money. And then you go and file bankruptcy so then you can legally worm your way out of the loan. But again, that's fraud, allegedly. I'm not a lawyer. This is just my opinion. Okay. Rogers subsequently went to Dublin before joining BTG Pactual as managing partner in 2011. Blah, blah, blah. Okay. BTG Pactual subsequently had a few problems of its own. It says which were unrelated to Jenkins. Whatever. Maybe not. So this is important, you guys. This is very important. The Anthony Jenkins that is tied to the PK bankruptcy with Barclays is actually a good guy. He's not related to Diana. He is not her ex. He just happens to have the same last name. Now, her actual ex, Roger Jenkins, it seems as though he left the company in 2009, which is about 3 years before the bankruptcy situation happened with PK. But again, that's when the bankruptcy happened. That's when the lawsuit happened. We need to know, when did he receive the money from Barclays? If it was during the 1994 and 2009 time period, and if Roger Jenkins had any hand in it getting approved, that's the bombshell. That's the aha moment. But from what it's looking at like right now, Anthony Jenkins has nothing to do with PK and Dorit other than actually trying to hold them accountable for their alleged fraud. Okay, now let's see what this last one is. Okay, so this one says, like the 3 other men in London's criminal court, Jenkins steadfastly denies the fraud charges. Of course he does. His lawyer has said he intends to vigorously defend himself. Of course. The Guardian says he is fiercely clever, but abrasive with it, and that his success at Barclays was down to this: political skills as much as his technical ability. So basically what that means, political skills as much as his technical ability, means he isn't actually that smart, but he's a good con. He's a good con. He's manipulative. He's probably very charming. He probably knows how to manipulate the system, find the loopholes. He probably knows how to con people. So basically what they're saying is, yeah, he wasn't that smart, but he's clever. And there's a difference between having financial savvy, actual financial savvy, and being clever. That's the whole thing about being a con artist. It's actually short for confidence. Con means confidence. You build somebody's confidence in you and what you're selling, and then you're able to manipulate them. So they're basically saying he's a big con artist. Jenkins' beautiful ex-wife, who reportedly helped woo the Qatari royal family into investing in Barclays during the financial crisis, says he's a very, very nice man. Jenkins will now need all the charm to protest his innocence. Exactly. He's very charming. He's very, you know what I'm saying? He's a con artist. Con. Allegedly. Now, tell me you didn't miss this crucial line. Jenkins' beautiful ex-wife, they're talking about Diana, who reportedly helped woo the Qatari royal family into investing in Barclays during the financial crisis. This is a Tom Girardi. This is an Erika Girardi. This is a Jeff Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell. This is a Bernie Madoff and whatever his wife name is scheme. This is why, like I just said, it is fishy that the moment Roger Jenkins gets criminal fraud charges against him in the UK, he flees to Malibu, California. Now, according to this article, it's implicating Jenkins' wife. She reportedly helped to woo the royal family, the Qatari royal family, into investing into Barclays. So if she helped him scheme and scam people, she also could be liable. So it's no wonder she also fled London to be in California, seemingly not too far away from her ex, because she doesn't want to get blowback. She doesn't want to get federal charges either. So now it's making sense why Diana was even in California, why she was even in the United States. Her and her ex-husband allegedly are fleeing criminal fraud charges. I mean, the case just keeps thickening. So what does it all mean? What does it all mean? All right, this is what I think it means. One, I think Erika is out for blood. She's behind the scenes being like, no longer can you guys write the coattails of me and Tom Girardi's legal problems. You need to start looking into everybody else's legal stuff. If Diana comes back, I want you to look in her past. Dorit has all these lawsuits and fraud charges and bankruptcies against her and PK. I want you to look into that. She's probably even being like, look into Kyle and Mauricio. Mauricio, like we said, has had multiple lawsuits against him in the agency. Multiple lawsuits against him. He's even named in a Girardi, Tom Girardi and Erika lawsuit, along with Rick Hilton, Bank of America, and Merrill Lynch. Hilton and Highland and the agency are all named in a $27.4 billion lawsuit, right? So Erika's basically just like, I'm tired of these people writing my coattails. I have no loyalty to anyone. Like I told you, Dorit, it would I'd hate for you to be in my position. So now people are coming out talking about Dorit's, secret past with Diana, but based on the receipts, based on the articles, it seems as though a couple of things can be true. Yes, it's true. Allegedly rumor. But this is also on Google and Wikipedia. Yes, it is true that Dorit and PK have been sued for fraud. They've been sued for fraud against Barclays. They've been sued for fraud against that guy Nikos for $1.5 million. Dorit was sued. Her investors sued Dorit about Beverly Beach. Remember that line that flopped and never was? She was sued by her investors. And I'm sure that there are more lawsuits against BK and Dorit. They've been called grifters. They've been called con artists. So yeah, that is true. They've been sued, Again, it's out there. You can Google it. This isn't coming from me. This is coming from everything that's already out there. So a couple of things can be true. Can PK and Dorit be grifters and con artists, and they are allegedly frauding millions of dollars from investors and frauding millions of dollars from banks? Yes. Can it also be true that Diana has all these allegations and this very shady, speculative past about allegedly sex trafficking, allegedly child sex trafficking? This whole book or the whole book Room 23 controversy and all of that. Yes, that can also be true. Also, the allegations about Diana and how she met her ex-husband Roger, who now, as we see, is very, very problematic. So it also can be true that Roger Jenkins, as we've seen, now has criminal federal charges against him in the UK for fraud. Again, that article is from 2019. It's 2022. I don't know where it stands today. I have to do a little bit more digging on that. And he has had ties to supermodels and X, Y, and Z, and that they were all living that life and they were all involved in all the allegations. Now it turns out that he may have actually been doing very shady, unethical, finding legal loopholes, tax evasion, and Barclays kind of shut that down. With the good Jenkins, who's Anthony Jenkins, is the one who is actually connected to PK and Dorit's Barclays bankruptcy. And Anthony Jenkins actually has no relationship to Diana Jenkins. He is not the ex-husband of Diana Jenkins. He just happens to share the same last name. Oof, you guys, it's a mess. It's a lot. It's a mess. It's a lot. But I want to know what you guys think. Put it down below in the chat box below. Do you believe it? Do you believe that Erika Jane Girardi is pissed and she's tired of everybody talking about the Tom drama and she is ready to throw her so-called friends under the bus? She is ready to expose the skeletons in their closet. She's tired of it. She's ready for those itches to go down. What do you think about this bizarre connection that, Diana Jenkins' ex-husband used to be, chief executive officer, president, whatever it was, one of the big guys at Barclays. And it just so happens that Barclays, loaned PK $5 million that he subsequently reneged on and filed bankruptcy. And basically they're alleging that he hid the money in the US. Do you think it's a coincidence that in 2019, Roger Jenkins flees the UK for America after facing the criminal charges? And that's around the same time it seems that Diana also fled the UK. Let me know what you guys think down in the comment box. What are your thoughts? Do you think that there is a secret past between Diana and Dorit and we just have to find that true thread between it? Or do you think, no, it's the UK. Barclays is a known huge financial bank. We all know that PK has been known to be fraudulent and to, do all these shady business practices. So it's not that big of a coincidence that he got the money from Barclays and that Diana, who's married to a very wealthy financier, that he happened to work at Barclays during, as well. Honestly, I think that, this is one time where I do believe in coincidence. I think it's coincidental unless I see the proof that Roger Jenkins was either on the executive team or influenced the executive team that approved PK's $5 million bank loan. That's the key I need for this to be a real secret dark past. Now, with Rinna being in book 23, that's the secret dark past between Diana I want to know about, because that's some concrete proof. You know what I mean? Lisa Rinna being in book room 23, that is a dark past I want to dive into. Bloop. But before you guys comment below on your thoughts and conspiracies, you know what to do. Go ahead and smash that like button, subscribe to my channel, hit the notification bell so you don't miss it when we go live. Also, you guys, share this with a friend, who likes conspiracy theories, pop culture, reality TV, the housewives, or just a good, fun, safe, happy kiki. Share this and share this alike. Also, you guys, check out the description box. We have so many fun goodies. And also below is our merch. You can get some of our love collection and you can throw me a super thanks if you want to. But with that, you guys, I love you. Take care of yourself and each other. And look out for the fraudsters because apparently they're on the prowl. I love you. Bye.
Welcome to Sugar Pills, a practical guide to self-care, where your host, writer, actor and producer Candy Washington helps you live a more joyful life with a cheeky dash of pop culture news. Be sure to subscribe, leave a 5-star review, and join the conversation on Instagram at Candy Washington. Let's go!